Today we're dedicating our entire countdown to one of the most storied, technically ambitious, and consistently compelling manufacturers in all of Swiss watchmaking, IWC Schaffhausen. Founded in 1868 by American engineer Florentine Ariosto Jones on the banks of the Rhine River in the Swiss canton of Schaffhausen, IWC has always occupied a unique position in the watchmaking world. A house that combines the precision engineering traditions of its industrial founding with the aesthetic refinement of the finest Swiss luxury manufacture. Where other great Swiss houses cluster in Geneva or the Vallée de Joux, IWC chose Schaffhausen for its proximity to powerful waterways that could drive manufacturing machinery. And that engineering-first philosophy has shaped every watch the manufacturer has produced in the century and a half since. From pilot's instruments of legendary operational heritage to dress watches of sublime elegance and grand complications of breathtaking mechanical ambition, IWC makes watches for people who take both function and beauty seriously, and refuses to compromise either in pursuit of the other. Today, we count down 10 of the finest IWC watches in current production. Let's get into it. Number 10. IWC Pilot's Watch Chronograph Portofino. Forn the IWC Pilot's Watch Chronograph 41. The most accessible entry point into IWC's celebrated aviation collection and a timepiece that delivers the full pilot's watch experience in a case size that wears with effortless contemporary ease. At 41mm, the chronograph sits at the precise intersection of vintage pilot's watch proportion and modern wrist sensibility. A diameter that neither overwhelms smaller wrists nor disappears on larger ones. The dial is a model of aviation instrument clarity. Bold Arabic numerals, a triangular 12 o'clock marker with flanking dots drawn directly from IWC's historic military watch references, and two contrasting chronograph subdials arranged at 3 and 9 o'clock in the classic pilot's layout that prioritizes legibility above every other consideration. The column wheel chronograph mechanism operates with the precise, mechanical satisfaction that separates a properly engineered chronograph from a merely functional one, and the caliber 69385 in-house movement delivers a solid 46-hour power reserve with reliable Swiss precision. The soft iron inner case protecting the movement against magnetic field interference is a technical inheritance from IWC's decades of supplying professional aviation instruments, a functional detail that speaks to the genuine operational seriousness beneath the handsome exterior. Number 9. IWC Portofino Automatic. The IWC Portofino Automatic occupies a quietly distinguished position within IWC's lineup that its understated elegance makes easy to overlook and impossible to forget once properly encountered. Named after the celebrated Italian coastal village whose effortless sophistication and sun-warmed beauty have attracted artists, intellectuals, and discerning travelers for generations, the Portofino translates that Mediterranean sensibility into a wristwatch of pure, resolved dress watch elegance that represents one of the finest expressions of the genre in Swiss watchmaking today. The case proportions are classical and harmonious. A slim, round stainless steel case with gently curved lugs that follow the wrist contour with a naturalness that more angular case designs can never quite achieve. The dial is the centerpiece. A clean white or silver surface bearing applied hour indices of refined simplicity, brigade-style or leaf-shaped hands in polished steel, and absolutely nothing superfluous. The date window is integrated with a discretion that acknowledges its practical utility while refusing to allow it to disrupt the compositional serenity of the whole. Number 8. IWC Aquatimer Automatic. The IWC Aquatimer Automatic is the Schaffhausen manufacturer's answer to the serious dive watch category, and characteristically for IWC, the answer involves a patented engineering solution that no other brand has conceived or executed. The SafeDive rotating inner bezel system, operated via an external crown that drives the bezel mechanism through the sealed case wall without compromising water resistance, is IWC's proprietary solution to the classic dive watch challenge of operating the timing bezel with wet or gloved hands. The result is a unidirectional bezel that moves with precision and authority while remaining completely sealed against water ingress at depths up to 300 meters. A technical solution that is simultaneously elegant in its mechanism and entirely convincing in its execution. The bold case architecture communicates serious underwater credentials without the bulk that afflicts some professional dive watches. And the dial design delivers the high-contrast legibility that ISO dive watch certification demands. Large indices, generous lume application, and a layout that reads instantly at depth, where ambient light diminishes rapidly. Number 7. IWC Pilot's Watch. Mark Ethique. The IWC Pilot's Watch. Mark Ethique carries a lineage of operational aviation service that few watches anywhere in the world can honestly claim. A direct, documented descent from the military pilot's watches that IWC supplied to air forces and naval aviation branches across decades of professional use. Each generation of the Mark series refining and extending a design philosophy built entirely around the needs of working aviators rather than civilian consumers. The 20th iteration of this extraordinary lineage distills that accumulated heritage into a watch of exceptional purity and operational precision. A 40mm case of ideal proportions housing a dial of near-perfect legibility with bold Arabic numerals, a distinctive triangular 12 o'clock index, and a clean layout that communicates the time with absolute immediacy in any lighting condition or cockpit environment. Number 6. IWC Portugieser Automatic. The IWC Portugieser Automatic is one of the most important and historically significant watches in the IWC catalog. A timepiece whose origins in the late 1930s, when two Portuguese merchants commissioned IWC to install exceptionally precise marine chronometer-grade movements in wristwatch cases, established a design language of such enduring power that it has defined the collection's identity for over 80 years without requiring fundamental revision. The Portugieser's signature characteristics, an oversized round case relative to the movement it houses, a clean dial with railroad minute track, applied hour indices, and Dauphine hands of elegant proportion, were dictated by the specific requirements of housing those large, precise movements and have since become one of the most recognizable and widely admired dial compositions in Swiss watchmaking. Number 5. IWC Big Pilot's Watch 43. The IWC Big Pilot's Watch 43 is a study in the relationship between heritage, scale, and presence. A watch that takes one of IWC's most historically resonant design references and delivers it in a case size calibrated for contemporary wearing, comfort without surrendering a single element of the commanding visual authority that defines the Big Pilot's identity. The original Big Pilot's watch of 1940, reference IW3201101, was a direct military instrument produced for the German Luftwaffe with a case diameter of 55 mm and a crown of such dramatic scale, it could be operated by gloved hands in open cockpit conditions. Design decisions driven entirely by operational necessity rather than aesthetic consideration. The modern 43mm interpretation preserves the essential DNA of that historic piece. The large Arabic numerals, the triangular 12 o'clock marker with its flanking dots, the prominent crown, and the overall sense of bold, purposeful legibility in a case diameter that wears comfortably on a wide range of wrists while still commanding the room-filling presence that Big Pilot enthusiasts specifically seek. Number 4. IWC Portugieser Chronograph. We encounter what many IWC collectors and watch journalists consider the single most perfectly resolved chronograph dial in the Swiss industry. The IWC Portugieser Chronograph, a timepiece whose two-register layout achieves a compositional harmony so complete and so apparently inevitable that it makes every more complex chronograph dial in existence look slightly over-designed by comparison. The decision to present the chronograph's elapsed minutes and running seconds in just two subdials, at 3 and 9 o'clock respectively, on the expansive canvas of the Portugieser's large, clean dial produces a balance that is immediately and permanently satisfying. There is nothing to add and nothing to remove. The dial simply is what a chronograph dial should be, and arriving at that conclusion required decades of IWC design evolution and the specific dimensional generosity of the Portugieser case to make possible. The column wheel chronograph, Caliber 69355 in-house movement, engages and releases with the mechanical precision and tactile satisfaction that distinguishes a properly engineered column wheel mechanism, and the 46-hour power reserve ensures reliable daily operation, available in silver, black, or blue dial variants, each presenting its two subdials in contrasting tones that enhance legibility and visual interest. The Portugieser Chronograph is a watch of such complete design integrity that owning one resolves rather than sustains. The eternal search for the perfect chronograph. The IWC Portugieser Chronograph retails for approximately $10,800 USD. Number 3. IWC Ingenieur. Automatic. The watch that represents IWC's most direct and historically important contribution to the science of anti-magnetic watchmaking. The Ingenieur Automatic, a timepiece whose technical heritage stretches back to 1955 and a landmark collaboration with Albert Pelleton, IWC's legendary technical director, who developed a soft iron inner cage system capable of protecting a mechanical movement against magnetic fields of extraordinary intensity. The Ingenieur was born from a specific industrial need. Engineers and technicians working around powerful electrical equipment in the post-war industrial boom required wristwatches that could maintain accurate timekeeping in environments that destroyed conventional mechanical movements. And the solution Pelleton developed, encasing the movement in a soft iron Faraday cage within the case, was so elegantly effective that it established a technical standard. Other manufacturers would spend decades attempting to match. Number 2. IWC Pilot's Watch. Spitfire Chronograph. The Pilot's Watch Spitfire Chronograph, named in honor of one of the most beloved and historically significant aircraft ever built, the Supermarine Spitfire that defended Britain during the Battle of 1940 and became an enduring symbol of courage, ingenuity, and the human spirit under extraordinary pressure. The Spitfire sub-collection within IWC's broader Pilot's Watch family occupies a distinct and carefully considered aesthetic position. Warmer in tone, more materially adventurous, and more explicitly connected to the physical and sensory world of vintage aviation than the more technically focused core Pilot's line. The Spitfire Chronograph presents its aviator credentials through a bronze or titanium case of exceptional character, a warm-toned dial with aged-inspired finishes that evoke worn leather cockpit upholstery and sun-bleached instrument panels, and a chronograph execution of genuine mechanical quality through the in-house column wheel caliber 69395 with its 46-hour power reserve. Number 1. IWC Big Pilot's Watch. Perpetual Calendar. The watch that best embodies the manufacturer's founding ambition to unite engineering precision with complication depth in a single, uncompromising expression of what IWC can achieve when it commits its full resources and institutional heritage to a single object. The Big Pilot's Watch Perpetual Calendar, a timepiece of extraordinary technical authority and visual drama that stands as one of the finest grand complication watches in the Swiss industry, regardless of price category or competitive context. The Perpetual Calendar complication housed within the Big Pilot's case solves the mechanical challenge of automatically accounting for months of varying length and the 4-year leap year cycle, with the same engineering intelligence that IWC has applied to mechanical problems since Florentine Jones established the manufacture on the Rhine in 1868. The Perpetual Calendar displays date, day, month, year, and moon phase are arranged on the Big Pilot's generously proportioned dial, with a clarity and legibility that draws directly from IWC's aviation instrument heritage, each display positioned and sized for immediate readability rather than decorative effect.